were written by one angel, on one skin, and with one pen. And all examples with tradition became like 113. The prophet turned towards his daughter and said, "You are the first one in my al-bayt who will meet me, and you are the leader of the women of paradise. Soon after me, you will be oppressed and forced, and you will be beaten and your rib will be broken. May Allah curse your killer, and curse the one who ordered it, and also curse those who became happy, and also curse those who help him and those who overpower you, and curse the oppressor of your husband, and curse also those who oppress your children." 14. 1. Hafiz Abi Nuaym Isfahani in Hilya. Muhammad ibn Talha Shafi'i in Matalib as-Su'al. Baladuri in Tiarik. Sheikh Sulayman Baqi Hanafi in Yanabi al-Mawada, Chapter 43, from Hamwaini. Mir Sayyid Ali Hamadani Shafi'i in Mawadat al-Kurba, Mawada v. Dailami in Firdaus. 2. Bukhari in his Sahih, Volume 3, Chapter of Ghazawa Khaybar, page 37, and Muslim ibn Hujjaj, in his Sahih, Volume 5. Page 154. 3. Ibn Abu al-Hadid, in his Shar Anaj al-Balagha, Volume 2, page 18, narrates from Zuhri. 4. Ahmad ibn Aysam al-Kufi Shafi'i in Futu, and Abu Nasr Hamidi, in Jama Bain as-Sahihain report from Nafi, quoting from Zuhri. 5. See Sahih Bukhari, Part 5 and 7. 6. Like Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal in Musnad. Sulayman Kanduzi in Yanabi al-Mawada. Mir Sayyid Ali Hamadani in Mawadat al-Kurba. Ibn Hajar in Sawa'iq, reporting from Tirmidhi, Hakim and others, with a slight difference in wording. 7. Muhammad ibn Talha Shafi'i in his Matalib as-Su'al. Hafiz Abu Nuaym Isfahani in Hilyat al-Aliya, Volume 2, page .40, and Imam Abdur Rahman Nisai in his Qasas al-Alawi. 8. Hafiz Abu Musa ibn Muthanna Basri died 252 AH in his Mu'ajam. Ibn Hajar Asqalani in Isaba, Volume IV, page .35. Abu Ya'la Musali in his Sunan. Tibrani in Mu'ajam. Hakim Nishapuri in Mustadrak, Volume 7, p. 154. Hafiz Abu Nuaym Isfahani in Fazl as-Sahaba. Hafiz ibn Asakir in Tiarik al-Shami. Sibt ibn Jazi in Tadkira, p. 175. Muhib ud-Din Tabari in Dakair, p. 39. Ibn Hajar Maki in Sawa'iq, page 105, and Abu Urfan is Suban in Isa'afar Raghiban, page .171. 9. Muhammad ibn Ismail Bukhari in his Sahih, in the chapter Manakib Karabat al-Rasul Allah, page .71, quotes from Miswar ibn Makrama. 10. Ibrahim ibn Muhammad Sagafi, who is one of the trustworthy ulema of the Sunnis, Ibn Abu al-Hadid, and Ali ibn Muhammad Hamadani. 11. Peshawar Nights by Sultanul Waisan Shirazi. 12. When Makkah was conquered, the Holy Prophet had released him, hence Tulika. 13. Kitab Sulaim ibn Qays al-Hilali. Hadith number 4. 14. Kitab Sulaim ibn Qays al-Hilali, Hadith number 61. Shares. You will know before long who will be afflicted with scornful chastisement. Many scholars have recorded that when Fatima, finished pleading her case, Ali, began his remonstrance in the public gathering of Muslims in the Mosque of Medina, turning towards Abu Bakr, he said, "Why did you deprive Fatima of her father's legacy, though she was its owner and possessed it during the lifetime of her father?" Abu Bakr replied, "Fadak is the booty of the Muslims. If Fatima produces complete evidence that it is her own property, I will certainly give it to her, otherwise, I will deprive her of it." The Imam said, "Is it not a fact that when you pronounce a judgment about Muslims, in general, you pass quite a contradictory judgment concerning us? Hasn't the Holy Prophet said that the onus of proof lies on the plaintiff and that of defense on the defendant? You have rejected the judgment of the Holy Prophet and, contrary to religious law, you demand witnesses from Fatima, who has been in possession of the property since the time of the Holy Prophet. Moreover, is the word of Fatima, who is one of the Ashab al-Kisa people of the mantle and who is included in the verse of purity, not true. If two persons were to give evidence that Fatima had committed some wrong, tell me, how would you treat her?" Abu Bakr said, "I would inflict punishment on her as I would any other woman." The Imam said, "If you did this, you would be an infidel before Allah, because you would have rejected Allah's evidence about Fatima's purity. Allah says, Verily, verily, Allah intends but to keep off from you every kind of uncleanness, O you the people of the house, and purify you with a thorough purification. Is this verse not revealed in our praise? Abu Bakr said, Why not? The Imam said, Is it possible that Fatima, whose purity Allah has verified, would lay a false claim to a petty property? You reject the evidence of the purified one and accept the evidence of the Arab who urinates on the heel of his own foot. After saying this, the Imam returned to his home angry. His protest excited the people. Everyone said, Truth is with Ali and Fatima. By Allah, Ali speaks the truth. Why is the Holy Prophet's daughter treated so outrageously? Ibn Abu al-Hadid narrates that the people were deeply impressed by the protests of Ali and Fatima, and began to cause a disturbance. Abu Bakr, who saw that the two holy persons had already left the mosque, went to the pulpit and said, O people, why are you so disturbed? Why do you listen to everybody? Since I have rejected their evidence, they are talking nonsense. The fact is that he is a fox who is betrayed by his own tail. He creates all sorts of disturbances. He minimizes the importance of disturbances and incites the people to create agitation and uproar. He seeks help from the weak. He seeks assistance from women. He is like Tihal, with whom people of her own house were fond of fornicating. Aren't these remarks outrageously abusive? Did they accord with praise, respect, love and sympathy, which the Holy Prophet had said? Were you his family? How long will Sunnis remain absorbed in this misguided faith and fanaticism? For how long will they oppose the Shias and call them Rafidis, rejectors and infidels, because they criticize the words and actions of people which are recorded in their own books? Consider the matter justly. Was the insolence of the aged companion of the Prophet justified? The wicked and abusive language of Muawiyah, Marwan, and Khalid was not as distressing as that which comes from the mouth of the man who is called the companion of the cave. Respected reader, we were not present at that time. We hear the names of Ali, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Talha, Zubair, Muawiyah, Marwan, Khalid, Abu Hurairah, etc. We have neither friendship nor enmity with any of them. We see two things. First, those whom Allah and His Prophet loved and for whom respect and loyalty was commanded. Second, we examine their deeds and utterances. Then we decide with a fair mind. We resist letting our preference for someone distort our judgment. We aren't the only ones who are shocked at such behavior. Even the fair Sunni ulema are amazed too. Learn it. Ibn Abu al-Hadid writes in his Sharh an-Nahj al-Balagha, Volume IV, page 80, that the utterances of the Caliph filled him with astonishment. He asked his teacher Abu Yahya Naqib Ja'far ibn Yahya ibn Abi Zayd al-Basari, to whom the Caliph's words referred. He said that the statements were not indirect. The reference was explicit. Ibn Hadid said, If they had been explicit, I would not have put the question upon this. He laughed and said, These things were said against Ali. Ibn Hadid repeated the words in astonishment. Were all those words said against Ali? His teacher said, Yes, O son, this is what rulership means. Resorting to abusive language is the tactic of one who has no convincing reply. All this was done to Ali, about whom, as reported by all the Sunni leading ulema in their reliable books, the Holy Prophet said, Ali is with the truth and the truth is with Ali. In reference to both Ali and Fatima, the Holy Prophet said that their trouble was his own trouble. The Holy Prophet said, He who troubles these two troubles me, and the one who troubles me troubles Allah. It is also written in all the Sunni authentic books that the Holy Prophet said, He who reviles Ali reviles me, who reviles me reviles Allah. Muhammad ibn Yusuf Ganji Shafi'i, in his Kifayatut Talib, ch. 10, narrates a detailed hadith on the authority of Ibn Abbas, who told a section of the Syrians, who were cursing Ali, that he had heard the Holy Prophet saying about Ali, He who abuses you abuses me, and he who abuses me abuses Allah, and he who abuses Allah will be thrown straight into hell. After this hadith he quotes many other hadith from authentic sources, all of which prove that those who abuse Ali are infidels. Chapter 10 of his book is entitled concerning the infidelity of one who abuses Ali. Also, Hakim in his Mustadrak, Volume 3, page 121, has quoted this same hadith. So, according to all these hadith, those who curse Ali, curse Allah and his Prophet s. All of them like Muawiyah, the Bani Umayyah, the Nasabis, the Kharijis are themselves cursed. There is a second point which disproves the supposed hadith. We leave no inheritance. The Holy Prophet s said, I am the city of knowledge and Ali is its gate, and I am the house of wisdom and Ali is its door. Both sects accepted this. Certainly, one who was the gate of the Holy Prophet's knowledge understood all hadith and instructions of the Holy Prophet s, particularly those concerned with the problems of inheritance. On them depends the welfare of the whole nation. The Holy Prophet s also said, one who wishes to acquire knowledge should come to Ali's door. If his knowledge had been incomplete, the Holy Prophet s would not have said that Ali was the best judge in the whole community. He said, Ali is the best of all among you in interpreting the laws. This hadith is recorded in all the authentic books. Would the Holy Prophet s proclaim the superiority of a man's mastery of the laws, if that man did not understand the problems of inheritance and the rights of the people? Part of the purpose of the Holy Prophet s was to secure social reform for the people in this world and peace and comfort for them in the hereafter. How could he make Ali the commander of the faithful, and yet not convey to him a tradition such as this, which affects the entire social order? As I have already said earlier, the Holy Prophet s said, for every prophet there is a vicegerent and heir. Verily, Ali is my vicegerent and heir. If you say that their inheritance did not mean inheritance of wealth but that of knowledge, although it has been proven that they meant inheritance of wealth, my point of view becomes clearer. The heir of the Prophet's knowledge deserved the position of caliphate more than any one of those who were devoid of the Holy Prophet's knowledge. Second, it has been proven that the Prophet made Ali his immediate successor and heir. According to the hadith narrated by Sunni ulema, Allah appointed him to this rank. Could the Prophet have neglected to tell his successor and heir? Moreover, it is very strange that in resolving questions regarding religious laws Abu Bakr and Umar accepted Ali's decisions. The Sunni ulema and historians have recorded the judgments pronounced by Ali during the caliphate of Abu Bakr, Umar, and Uthman. The Sunnis say it is very strange that we claim that the caliphs did not know the religious ordinances, and that Ali used to remind them. There is nothing strange about it. To know all the ordinances is very difficult. It would not be possible for a man to have such perfect knowledge unless he was the Prophet of Allah or the gate of knowledge of the Holy Prophet s. The Sunni ulema have recorded these facts in their authentic books. I cite an example so that uninformed men may not think that we say these things to offend them. The Sunni ulema 4 report the following incident. Umar wanted to stone a woman because she had given birth to a child after a 6-month pregnancy. Ali said, Allah says in the Holy Quran that the time, from conception till the prescribed time of suckling, covers a period of 30 months. Since the suckling period is for 2 years, the period of pregnancy is 6 months. This means that a birth of a child is possible after a pregnancy of 6 months. So, Umar set the woman free and said, if Ali had not been there, Umar would have perished. Single quote. In the same chapter he quotes from Ahmad ibn Hanbal's Manaqib. When Umar faced a difficult problem and was unable to understand it, he relied upon Ali's understanding. Several such events took place during the caliphate of Abu Bakr and Uthman. When they became entangled in some difficulty, they called Ali as the real arbiter. They themselves acted according to his decision. Now you may wonder why they did not accept Ali's evidence in the case of Fatik. Now in that case they chose to follow their own desires and snatched away the right of Fatima. The third argument to prove the falsity of this hadith is Caliph Abu Bakr's own statement and action. If the hadith were correct, whatever the Holy Prophet had left would have been confiscated. The heirs would have had no right over anything left behind, but Abu Bakr gave Fatima's apartment to her and gave the apartments of the wives of the Holy Prophet Aisha, Hafsa, and others to them as their Heritage. Besides this, if the hadith were correct and if Abu Bakr believed that it was the Holy Prophet's ordinance, then why, after confiscating Fadak which he considered to be charity belonging to the Muslims, did he write a document that the property be returned to Fatima, a. Later Umar intervened and destroyed the document. Ibn Abu al-Hadid in his Shar and Naj al-Balagha and Ali ibn Burhan ud-Din Shafi'i in his Tariq Surat al-Halabiyah, Volume 3, page 391, write that Abu Bakr was moved to tears by Fatima's impassioned speech. He wept because of Fatima's plight and subsequently wrote a document stating that the property be returned to her. But Umar destroyed the document. It is however surprising that the same Umar, who during Abu Bakr's caliphate objected to the returning of Fadak, returned it to its heirs during his own caliphate. Similarly, the Umayyad and Abbasid caliphs also returned it to the heirs of Fatima, a. The well-known traditionist and historian of Medina, Allama Samhudi died 911 AH in his Tariq al-Medina, and Yaqut ibn Abdullah Rumi in his Mu'ajam al-Budan, state that during his caliphate, Abu Bakr took possession of Fadak. Umar, during his reign, returned it to Ali, and Abbas. If Abu Bakr occupied it on the order of the Holy Prophet and considered it the property of the Muslims, on what principle did Umar entrust the property of all the Muslims to a single individual? Sometimes a witness is cleverer than the plaintiff for whom he gives evidence. The caliph had no such idea. If the property had been returned for the expenses of the Muslims, it must have been so recorded in history. But all the prominent historians write that it was released in favor of Ali, and Abbas. Ali, accepted Fadak as its rightful heir, not as an individual Muslim. One Muslim may not possess the property of all the Muslims. Perhaps the reference is to Umar ibn Abd al-Aziz, but Ali, and Abbas were not alive during the time of Umar ibn Abd al-Aziz. That is a separate story. Allama Samhudi in his Tariq al-Medina and Ibn Abu al-Hadid in his Shar and Naj al-Balagha, Volume IV, page 81, narrate from Abu Bakr Jauhari that when Umar ibn Abd al-Aziz occupied the seat of the caliphate, he wrote to his governor at Medina to return Fadak to the descendants of Fatima, a. Accordingly, he called Hassan ibn Hassan al-Mu'taba, and according to some reports he called Imam Ali ibn al-Husayn and returned Fadak to him. Ibn Abu al-Hadid writes about it in his Shar and Naj al-Balagha, Volume IV, page .81, in the following words. This was the first property which was snatched away unjustly and then was given over to the descendants of Fatima by Umar ibn Abd al-Aziz. It remained in their possession for a long time until Caliph Yazid ibn Abd al-Malik usurped it again. Then, the Bani Umayyah occupied it. When the caliphate went to the Bani Abbas, the first Abbasid caliph, Abdullah Safa, entrusted Fadak to the descendants of Imam Hassan, who distributed its income according to the rights of inheritance, to the descendants of Fatima, When Mansur persecuted the descendants of Imam Hassan, he snatched away Fadak from them. Again, when his son, Mahdi, became the caliph, he returned it to them. When Musa ibn Hadi became the caliph, he again usurped Fadak. When Mamun ar-Rashid the Abbasid occupied the seat of the caliphate, he ordered Fadak to be released to the descendants of Ali. Yaqut Hamawi quotes Mamun's order. In his Mu'ajam al-Budan, Mamun wrote to his governor at Medina, "Verily, the Holy Prophet of Allah bequeathed Fadak to his daughter, Fatima." This fact was established and commonly known to the descendants of the Holy Prophet. The well-known poet, Daibal Kuzai, was also present at this time. He recited some couplets, the first of which means, "Today we are all happy and rejoicing. Mamun has returned Fadak to the Bani Hashim. It has been proved by irrefutable arguments that Fadak had been given by the Holy Prophet to Fatima, It was usurped without any justification. But later caliphs, on grounds of justice or for political considerations, returned it to the descendants of that oppressed lady. If Fadak was bestowed upon her as a gift, why did she claim it as her heritage and not say anything about a gift? At first, she claimed it as a gift, but when witnesses were required from the property's occupants, in contradiction to the injunction of the Holy Prophet of Islam, she produced witnesses. Their evidence was rejected. She was thereby forced to seek protection under the law of inheritance. This fact is recorded not only in Shia books, but also in those written by Sunni prominent ulema 5 that at first Fatima remonstrated with Abu Bakr that she owned Fatik and that the Holy Prophet of Allah had given it to her. Since witnesses were not available, she was forced to claim her right according to the law of inheritance. Also, the ulema 6 narrate that the first claim of Fatima was that Fatik had been a gift. When her witnesses were rejected, she was much pained and said in anger that she would not talk to Abu Bakr and Umar again, and so, it was she never saw them again and did not speak to them. When the time of her demise approached, she specified in her will that none of these people was to take part in her funeral prayers. Her uncle, Abbas, offered the funeral prayers, and she was laid to rest at night. According to Shia sources and according to the statements of the Imams, Ali performed the funeral prayers. Will you please tell me which religious ordinance demands witnesses from one who is in possession of the property? It has been proved that Fatima was in possession of Fatik. As reported by all Sunni ulema, Abu Bakr's demanding witnesses from her was against religious law. Does our religious law not say that witnesses should be produced by the plaintiff and not by the holder of the property? Second, nobody denies the general significance of the verse of evidence, but it also has a specific significance. What do you mean by its specific significance? The proof for this is the report recorded in the authentic books of Hadith regarding Qasima ibn Thabit. He gave evidence in support of the Holy Prophet in a case concerning the sale of a horse. An Arab had made a claim against the Holy Prophet and his Qasima's single evidence was considered sufficient. The Holy Prophet gave him the title of Dush Shahadatain because he was regarded as being equal to two just witnesses. This example shows that the verse of evidence allows for exceptions under some circumstances. When Qasima, an individual believer and companion from among the community, was made an exception to the verse, Ali, and Fatima, who were infallible according to the verse of purity, were in a better position to enjoy this exception. They were definitely free from all falsehood. To reject their evidence was to reject the evidence of Allah. Fatima claimed that her father bestowed Fatik upon her as a gift and that it was in her possession and control during the Holy Prophet's lifetime. She was asked to furnish witnesses. She produced Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib, and Hassan, and Husayn, as her witnesses. But their evidence was rejected. Was this action not unjust? It is beyond comprehension how anybody could reject Ali's testimony. Allah Almighty says in the Holy Quran that we should be with Ali, that is, we should follow him. Zayd al-Adil became the embodiment of truth because of his extreme truthfulness. Similarly, Ali was also called the truthful, as Allah says, O you who believe, be careful of your duty to Allah and be with the truthful ones. 119. Truthful ones refers to the Prophet Muhammad Ali, and the al-Bayt. Sunni prominent scholars have written in their books and commentaries that this verse was revealed in praise of Muhammad and Ali. The truthful ones refers to these two holy men, and according to some reports it means Ali. Other reports say that it refers to the progeny of the Holy Prophet The Sunni ulema 7 narrate that the Holy Prophet said, "These truthful ones are Muhammad and Ali." It is related 8 that Ibn Abbas said, in this verse, the truthful ones are Muhammad and his holy descendants. And they 9 write, with the truthful ones, that is, with Ali ibn Abi Talib. Allah says, and he who brings the truth, and he who accepts it as the truth, these are they that guard against evil. 39. 33. The ulema narrate in their books 10 from Ibn Abbas. He who brings the truth, is Muhammad, and he who testifies to it, is Ali ibn Abi Talib. Allah says in chapter of Hadid Iron of the Holy Quran, and as for those who believe in Allah and His apostles, these it is who are the truthful and the faithful ones in the sight of their Lord. They shall have their reward and their light. 57. 19. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal in his Musnad and Hafiz Abu Nu'aym Isbahani in Manazil min al-Quran fi Ali narrate on the authority of Ibn Abbas that this holy verse was revealed in praise of Ali, or referring to him as being among the truthful ones. In the chapter Nisa Allah says, "And whoever obeys Allah and the Apostle, these are with those upon whom Allah has bestowed favors from among the prophets and the truthful and the martyrs and the good, and a goodly company are they for." 69. In this verse also the truthful ones refers to Ali, a. There are many hadith narrated by Sunni ulema and ours, indicating that Ali, was the truthful one of the community and, in fact, the most exalted among the truthful ones. Many of prominent ulema 11 have written in their books that the Holy Prophet has said, "There are three great truthful ones, Hiskal, the believer of the people of Pharaoh, Habib Najjar of the Surah Yasin, and Ali ibn Abi Talib, who is superior to them all." Also, they 12 narrate that the Holy Prophet has said, "There are three truthful ones, Habib Najjar, the believer of the people of the chapter Yasin who said, O people, follow the prophets. Hiskal, the believer of the people of Pharaoh, who said, do you kill a man who worships Allah? And Ali ibn Abi Talib, who is the most exalted of them all." Sunnis themselves prove with various hadith in conformity with the Holy Quran, that Ali, occupied the highest rank among the truthful ones, and yet they call others as Siddiq truthful, although not a single verse has been reported about their being truthful. Reader, please be just. Was it proper to reject the evidence of the person whom Allah calls Siddiq in the Quran, one whom we have been commanded to follow? The Holy Prophet has said, Ali is always with truth and truth revolves round Ali. It is narrated 13 that the Holy Prophet was heard saying, Ali is with the Quran and the Quran is with Ali. There will never be a difference between the two, and the two will not separate from each other until they reach me at the pool of Kauthar. Some narrators have reported these words. The right is always with Ali, and Ali is always with the right. There will be no difference between the two, and the two will not be separate from each other. Ibn Hajar writes in Sawa'iq al-Murika, ch. 9, Part 2, page 77, that the Holy Prophet on his deathbed said, I leave behind with you two things. The Book of Allah and my progeny, my al-Bayt. Then, holding Ali's hand, he raised it and said, this Ali is with the Quran, and the Quran is with Ali. The two will not separate from each other till they reach me at the pool of Kauthar. Then I will ask each of them about the matter of succession. Also, it is generally narrated that the Prophet has said, Ali is with the right and the right is always with Ali. They revolve around each other. Sibt ibn Jazi, in Tadkarat al-Kawaz ul-Ummah, page .20, in connection with the Hadith of Ghadir, narrates that the Holy Prophet has said, let the right move round Ali, in whatever direction he moves. Sibt, commenting on this, says, this hadith proves that if there is any difference between Ali and any other companion, the right will certainly be with Ali. It is recorded in the books that have been mentioned and in other authentic books of Sunnis that the Holy Prophet often said, he who obeys Ali verily obeys me, and he who obeys me verily obeys Allah. He who disobeys Ali verily disobeys me, and he who disobeys me verily disobeys Allah. Al-Fath Muhammad ibn Abd al-Karim Shahrastani reports in his Malal wa Nihal that the Holy Prophet said, the reality is that Ali is always on the right, and those who follow him are on the right. With all these explicit reports, which are recorded in authentic books, wasn't refusing to agree with Ali, the same as refusing to agree with the Holy Prophet Also reported 14 on the authority of Salman Muhammadi, that the Holy Prophet said, Fatima's love is useful to us in 100 places, the easiest of them being death, the grave, the mizan, the balance, Sirat, the bridge, and the questioning. So, if my daughter, Fatima, is pleased with somebody, I am also pleased with him. If I am pleased with somebody, Allah is also pleased with him. If my daughter, Fatima, is displeased with somebody, I am also displeased with him. If I am displeased with him, Allah is also displeased with him. Woe be to him who oppresses Fatima and her husband. Woe be to him who oppresses Ali and Fatima and their Shias. I ask you what conclusion you draw in light of these authentic hadith and the hadith recorded by Bukhari and Muslim that Fatima remained indignant with Abu Bakr and Umar until she died. Someone may say the hadith of indignation means religious indignation and not ordinary worldly indignation. Her indignation regarding Abu Bakr and Umar, which is recorded in all reliable books, was not religious. That is, Fatima did not feel angry with Abu Bakr and Umar because they violated any religious injunction. Of course, if anyone had aroused her religious indignation, he would have been subject to his prophet's curse. But Fatima's anger resulted from a change in her condition, which every sensitive person feels when he fails to achieve his object. Since Fatima had made a request for Fatik and the caliph did not accept her claim, she was naturally affected by it and felt indignant at that time. But later this slight displeasure disappeared from her mind, and she was satisfied with the decision of the caliph. The proof of her satisfaction was her silence. And when Ali took the reins of the caliphate, he did not, for all his supreme authority, take back Fatik under his control. This, too, is proof that he was satisfied with the decision of the previous caliphs. First, to say that Fatima's anger was not religious but worldly. You would have expressed this view without careful study. According to the principles of the Quranic verses and the hadith of the Holy Prophet, no perfect believer would ever show such an indignation, not to speak of Fatima, whose eminence is evident from the verse of purity. Verse of Mubahala and the Surah Al-Ata of the Holy Quran, 76. 1. There are numerous hadith in all the authentic books that Fatima occupied the highest rank of Iman belief, and that the Holy Prophet had explicitly said about her, "Verily, Allah has filled my daughter Fatima with belief from head to foot." Any believer, man or woman, whose special mark is to admit the truth, would never show any indignation when a judge issues a just order. Nor would such a believer cling to that anger and wrath till his death, insisting in his will that none of those who were in any way connected with those orders should be allowed to join in his funeral prayers. Moreover, Fatima, about whose purity Allah himself gives evidence, could never make a false claim, so that a judge might reject her claim. Second, if Lady Fatima's indignation was merely worldly indignation, or her disappointment in having her claim rejected, her anger should have subsided soon, particularly after the regret shown by those responsible for her anger. There should have been no grief in her heart. The Holy Prophet said, "One of the signs of a believer is that he does not naturally nurse any grudge based on carnal sentiments against anybody." Also, the Holy Prophet said, "If a believer happens to commit a fault, the aggrieved believer does not feel antipathy towards him for more than 3 days." So, the pure and truthful Fatima az-Zahra, who was, according to the testimony of Allah Almighty, imbued with faith from head to foot, could never bear malice against anybody. And it is acknowledged by both sects that Fatima left this world angry with Abu Bakr and Umar. So, it follows from this that Fatima's indignation was purely religious. When she saw that the order was passed against her in violation of the commands of Allah and her Holy Father, she felt furious with religious displeasure, and this was that anger which incurred Allah's and his Prophet's wrath. Third, silence does not necessarily mean concurrence. Sometimes the oppressed